All right, what's up, Dave?
What's going on, brother?
I like the SEC hoodie. I like it.
Yeah, man. Get it
What you
right.
think about what you think about getting Texas in the SEC? You like it or you don't like it?
Yeah, no, I like it. I mean, I think it brings a competitive. I think that it's obviously um, for like recruiting purposes too. There's a lot of people that I think that would consider Texas more if they were also in the SEC. And I think that there's so many things that are going on right now with like that new agreement where
Hmm.
obviously to get paid.
Yeah.
I think that's a big deal as well.
No, I think so too. I think money wise, it's gonna be it's gonna be a mess down there in Texas with recruiting with A&M and Texas now competing for the SEC.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think it's gonna take a couple years, right? I think it's like
Yeah,
two or 3 years.
yeah. I think it's Texas and what Clemson. Is that correct?
I don't know. I don't know exactly who's the whole reshuffling, but I know Texas is in there.
I think Clemson's in
Is
it.
it Oklahoma? I think it's Oklahoma.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
There's some big names. I know. I think Clemson might have put in a bid as well. So
that'd be
uh,
crazy, man. That would be crazy.
yeah, that would be cool.
But for this episode, Dave, let's this is this week's slate for DraftKings.
Okay.
So I've been playing recently. So I would love to get your insight before I put in a lineup,
Okay.
and let's see if we can put together the optimal lineup and try and win some money.
Cool. Let's do it.
So all right. So usually what I like to attack it is I look at the schedule and I try to find like 3 or 4 games that I think could be high scoring or like a blowout from on one side or the other. There's a couple that stand out. I like the Buffalo Jets matchup, um, especially with the Buffalo Jags game last week. I expect the angry Bills team on the road. I like the Bucks at Washington coming off of a bye. Um, I also like the what is it? The Detroit. Is it? I just had it. The Pittsburgh Detroit game. It looks
Detroit,
like they what?
they're gritty, man.
Yeah,
You know,
they're gritty.
they stay in there for a little bit, and then in the second half they kind of wear out a
Yeah,
little bit. They're pretty gritty.
and I mean the same thing could be said for the Lions, man. I know they're winless, but they've had some competitive games, and I know they're dying to get on the win board. So I can see that one kind of not necessarily that it's going to be high scoring, but that it'll be kind of competitive, maybe.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But those are the 3 lineups I'm looking at. So I usually try to start with the quarterback and then stack the quarterback with certain options. So out of those games, Josh Allen is the most expensive player, and then you got Brady, and then you can get Ben Roethlisberger for fairly cheap. If I had to choose one, I'd probably lean Brady, but I'm kind of concerned with Antonio Brown, Gronk not being active, and also I know Chris Godwin's kind of banged up too.
Yeah. I would go Tom. Big Ben doesn't have Claypool as well. I think they're going to
Yeah,
really get around Najee. And then, even when Tom played against the Saints, he had 4 touchdowns without those people that you just mentioned, right? So
that's
I
true.
think,
He's
I
had
think,
4 or 5 touchdowns in a few games, and then the other ones he's had 3 touchdowns.
and the
So
Redskins are one of the worst
pass,
pass
yeah,
defenses in the NFL. So I do think, plus they just lost Montez Sweat. So
yeah.
you're really relying on that Chase Young. And I think that Tom's going to really take him apart.
All right, so I just slotted Brady in there. So I want to give him one of his best receivers, just so that it makes it a little easier to guess who's going to get a touchdown. Godwin is at 7,100, and then you got Evans at 6,900. Do you have a preference in this matchup?
I think Mike Evans definitely scores a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm leaning the same with Evans in this, so I'm going to slide Evans in there. All right, so we got Brady and Evans. We got 35,000 left. Um, Another thing I like to do sometimes is I like to put a player from the other team in that matchup. So some people that stand out, you got Terry, you got Gibson, you got McKissick. Just because if it's going to be a high-scoring game on the Buck side, then you got to think the Redskins are going to be playing from behind, and they may be throwing the ball a lot. Do you have a preference in that
Well,
department?
the Buccaneers defensive backs are getting healthier, but they're still pretty
Yeah.
obviously Terry is always going to be a good option. I don't know what he costs.
Terry is coming in at let's see. I think Terry was 7,600. So he's the most expensive out of Gibson and McKissick. McKissick is fairly affordable. He's at 5,200. And I know he's been kind of the pass catcher. We can get him cheaper than Gibson. I don't know. I think to save money, I may lean McKissick. I feel like Heineke may dump the ball off a lot.
I mean, he's going to have to. And he's going to be
Yeah.
playing behind. I think he's going to do a lot of screens. You have, another thing too is that Tampa Bay has the best rush defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be a lot of screens, things to the outside, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it'll end up being a comparable day between Gibson and McKissick. But I think McKissick has the more upside in the passing game.
Correct.
So I'm gonna slide McKissick in there. I'm gonna put him at the flex though. I'm gonna leave the spot open to see if we can find a better running back to start. So I'll put McKissick in as the flex. And so we got 30,000 left. Let's go to the running backs. Let's see who we got like stud wise and how we can save some money. So you got McCaffrey back on the road versus Arizona. I like it, but I don't love it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I do like it as well. I do like Swift versus Pittsburgh. I think they're going to use him a lot. I think he'll get a lot of passes.
And that's at 6,800, so you could save some money there.
I think Seattle's defense is trash, so Aaron Jones is a really good value. And obviously we're going to be talking about the Saints later, but one of the things that I think we really all learned is how bad that rush defense is for Atlanta. Mm-hmm. I know Ezekiel Elliott's kind of playing through some injuries here and there, but I just think he's going to have a good game. Yeah.
Well, it's looking like other than McCaffrey, the top slot, the most expensive player is Jonathan Taylor. Would you at home versus Jacksonville, maybe the Colts get out on top and then they feed Taylor the ball a lot? Would you pay that premium and maybe try to get Jonathan Taylor in there, or would you lean up towards Zeke or save some money on that side?
If I were you, I would go Zeke, Aaron, DeAndre. I think those are my big three.
So let's save some money then. Let's go with Jones at home versus Seattle, and let's go Swift on the road at Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So that leaves us 16,000. So let's try to fill this tight end position. I like to get like all the starters in before I get the backups. So let's go. Top pick is Kyle Pitts at Dallas at 5,800. So the average remaining cost of player right now is 4,100. So we got to keep that in mind.
I like this Pittsburgh guy.
I mean, he's definitely the hot hand, right? And you can get him for 3,900, which is fairly affordable.
I really like him. And Hunter,
and then, like you said, no Claypool.
Correct. So I think that and Ben's really been feeding him the ball.
Yeah. I mean, let's go with the hot hand. I mean, I like the price. I like the matchup. So let's go with the hot hand. That leaves us 4,200. We got 12,000 left, 4,200 average. All right, let's fill this defense. I don't usually like to pay up for defenses. So what I usually do is I scroll towards the bottom and I try to find the best matchup for the cheapest price. Because I mean, to spend 4,100, I mean, yeah, they're two good matchups, right? You got Pittsburgh against Detroit, and then you got Buffalo at the Jets. But they're pretty expensive. So let me see what's towards the bottom. I mean, the Jags held the Bills to 6 points. Do you see a repeat, or do you think that the Colts would be able to kind of exploit that?
I think the Colts will be able to exploit
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Look, like I think the Lions gets a turnover, but I think Pittsburgh wins pretty like in the second half.
I mean, I do kind of like. I hate to say it, but I like the Titans at home.
I like Carolina versus Arizona, depending on Kyler Murray's situation. I wish I knew more.
Yeah, you got to
Uh,
expect that it's probably going to be a 20 carry game for Connor, which could kind of change the game script and maybe move the clock a little bit more. So it may be a little lower scoring. I like that.
yeah, I could see the Titans versus the Saints. I could see, you know, I just I don't think the Titans get a lot of sacks. I think they get an interception,
Yeah.
maybe a fumble.
I mean, the Alvin injury definitely, I like it a lot more. A big win against the Rams. They kind of showed out. Um,
Yeah, but they did. They did show out. There was a few. They got ahead really early. There was a
yeah.
few kicks in the red zone there that I thought
Those, I think, were more Stafford mistakes than Titans. Like,
Stafford was about to get that safety, and then
yeah,
was the David Orzowski or whatever his name is.
yeah, that was a terrible play.
Terrible.
Um,
Uh,
this one's tough.
I like the Carolina. Like here's the thing, Stephon Gilmore's been on fire. I think that they get a few sacks. I do think
Yeah.
Arizona scores
Mhm.
a nice little bit, but I think that Carolina gets things that create points too.
Yeah, I just don't like that it's on the road. It's a tough place to play right now. I do think Carolina is going to get some energy from this Cam Newton signing, and they get McCaffrey back. So I do think they're going to bounce back. They've had a tough stretch here, but let's do it. Let's slide it in, and then we'll make some adjustments towards the end. I don't hate it, so we'll go Panthers at the defense. All right, so we got about $5,100 per receiver. So let me scroll down and see who we can get for that much.
Okay.
All right, so we can get Kirk for 5,500. AJ Green is back. Hopkins is questionable, but we don't know about Kyler Murray. So
Well, Kirk did get 6 receptions with Colt McCoy. Once
mhm,
again,
yeah,
DeAndre was out, but he did have 6 receptions.
yeah. What about this Beasley at the Jets for 5,200?
I like that. I also think Jarvis Landry steps up a little bit. I think that here's the thing. I think that New England's going to take a lot of things over the top. Like I don't think they're
Yeah.
going to allow like Cleveland to pass deep as much. I think
Mhm.
that I think that Jarvis does get a few catches.
I do too. Underneath,
He's-
some slant drag patterns.
I think he's there. That's what they're going to have to do versus New England.
The
Chubb,
Patriots have that. I mean, he's looking pretty much like a lockdown corner right now.
JC
Yeah.
Jackson is incredible, but you have to think so. Nick Chubb's out, so they're going to want intermediate throws.
Yeah, and maybe they put Jackson on the outside with Peoples Jones, and Landry gets the catches in the slot. But I mean, the same could be said for Beasley. But DraftKings has them priced exactly the same. Based on the amount of money we have left, we can only afford one of them.
Scroll down.
Let's scroll down and see. So on the other side, you can get Jacoby at at home. We mentioned Peoples Jones. You can get AJ Green coming back for 4,600.
I think he'll have 70 yards.
Yeah.
3 catches. So you're looking at 10 points if it's PPR.
I mean, and then if we get him, we'll gain some money to be able to spend up on the other receiver.
Okay.
What you think? You leaning AJ Green at this price point?
Yeah, let's do that. I mean, he's
All
going to
right.
give 10. So we have 5,700.
Let's see. All right. So Sanders is the highest at 5,700. And then we can get Sutton at home or we can get Kirk.
How did Sanders do last week? Do you know?
Sanders has been kind of struggling recently without. I think it's something to do with the Dawson Knox injury. Allen has been looking Beasley's way more without Knox, and so that's kind of affected Sanders a little bit.
Well,
really strong start, but
I think Jerry Judy, when he's in a lineup, Cortland scares me. Like Jerry Judy he's the guy.
yeah,
And I like Cortland, but
I don't like going with Green and Kirk, but
yeah.
since we can afford Kirk, would we rather have Kirk than AJ? Or do you think that
I wish we knew about the Andre Johnson situation. I mean, not Andre Johnson.
Hopkins? Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I do like though, if he's healthy, is Julio Jones. He's been off one, but like the thing is Marshawn's gonna cover Lattimore. CJ Gardner's out.
Marshawn's gonna be on AJ.
AJ. CJ Gardner's out, so we're gonna have Bradley Roby covering Julio Jones, unfortunately, or a Debo, and Julio's gonna destroy them.
I mean, Julio does have that track record against the Saints. He has lots of experience against the Saints. I don't really know too much about this recent injury. I know he's been banged up pretty much all season.
He played well or decent versus the Rams.
Yeah.
So.
I may want to get one of these Buffalo pass catchers though against the Jets in there.
Yeah, we could go Beasley.
Yeah, I think I want to, or we could bet that there's going to be a bounce back game from Sanders. Because Knox is going to be back this week. And Sanders had better games when Knox was in the lineup and Beasley didn't. And that would maximize our entire salary cap. We would have $0 remaining. Let's just review this real quick. Let's see is there any like weak spots that you think we can maybe. I definitely think the Brady Evans is going to hit.
I think the Aaron Jones and DeAndre is going to hit too.
Yeah.
I think the tight end will do well. And then Emmanuel is a wild card.
Yeah.
I do think that the Panthers get a few, like a sack or two, an interception. I do. And by the way, Arizona's like they've been winning, right? Like, don't get me wrong, but their turnover, like they've been turning the ball over. So I think that Carolina's going to play in that favor.
All right. I actually like it. I'm reviewing it and I don't really see, I mean, we're playing some hot hands. I like Freiermuth. I just want to go revisit the running back situation, even though I do like Jones. Let me just make sure that. Yeah, because Taylor would be $1,200 more, and that would really affect our balance because we would have to get rid of some of these receivers. Zeke is pretty much the same price as Aaron Jones. So that may be the question there. Do we know about Aaron Rodgers? Is that?
I expect him to play.
Yeah.
But
let me ask you one thing about the Jones situation. Are you concerned about Dylan getting some of his targets? It seems like it's more I guess 60-40 than it used to be like 80-20.
Yeah, I think Aaron's the guy in the red zone. I think they trust him the most.
Yeah.
And they use him more in the running game. I mean, I'm sorry, in the passing game.
Yeah. Dallas did get embarrassed last week.
I think Dallas is going to beat Atlanta.
I think they got embarrassed last week against the Broncos. I see a bounce back game. I just don't know if it's a bounce back game on the ground or is it a bounce back game from Prescott having one of those 3-4 touchdown games?
I think that if you watch that Atlanta game, I think that it's evident. Obviously we got down pretty quick,
Mhm.
but they couldn't stop the run. I think that Zeke will have a good game, but I also think Aaron Jones is gonna have a good game. I think Aaron Jones is gonna get a few more catches. I think that maybe Zeke has a touchdown or two. So like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, if we do make that swap, let's just do it for fun. I like this lineup. I'm probably leaning this lineup. But if we were gonna slot Zeke in there, I think we're gonna have to make a change. Yeah, because that puts us $100 over. So we said that Sanders was the question mark, or do we want to go cheaper with the defense?
Go back to the defense.
All right, let's get the Panthers out of there. Let's see the defense that costs 2,300. Whew, it doesn't give us many options. I think we may have to roll with the Panthers, and then we may need to adjust and maybe go get Beasley instead of Sanders if we were going to go Zeke.
Man, I do think that Seahawks defense was pretty bad, man, and I think that they're going to utilize Aaron Jones.
Yeah, but just to see if we'll find something different. Let's just see how that changes things. If we were going to go back here and we're going to go back and get Beasley, I think that actually is going to give us, yeah, that'll give us $400 to spend. And I don't really, I mean, I think we have to have a Buffalo receiver in there this week. Three good offenses, the Bucks, the Cardinals, and the Bills right here. But where do we want to spend $400?
Go to the flex.
Go to the flex. Okay. So it would a player that costs 5,600. Do we upgrade McKissick and go with Gibson? But Tampa Bay stuffs the run, man. I don't know. But I do want to have someone from Washington on my team if I'm going with Brady and Evans. I bet you that we could, if we were going to sub out McKissick, get someone else, that we may be able to get Seals Jones for the Redskins at tight end, but I don't like that better than Freiermuth.
No.
Or we probably can afford Great or OJ Howard. I don't like that either.
No.
What if we just upgrade the defense? Who can we afford
Okay.
at
So-
2,800? At 2,800 we can upgrade the Panthers. We can get the Titans at 2,600.
Let's do that.
Because I don't want to get Freiermuth out of there, and I like McKissick. So that gives us $200 to spend. If we're going to change the running back, let's just. Oh, we can go Zeke and Jones instead of Swift.
Yeah, I think we could do that.
Yeah, that's the trade-off right there. All right, which lineup do you prefer? I mean, Zeke and Jones is strong.
Yeah, let's do this one. Let's rock and roll.
Yeah, it's tough. All right, well, there you have it, man. That's our two DraftKings lineup. I think we'll win the $1 million this week, Dave, based on we put both of our heads together. We'll see. Hopefully we get a good game from Brady, even though I don't want him to win. All right, let's go ahead and shut this one down, and let's